Who here is? Hello and welcome everybody to our Week 6 Legends of Runeterra Aegis League recap. I'm Headmaster Red. I'm joined by our lovely guests, 2 from the EMEA group and 2 from the Americas group. First, we have Runeterra Tennis Academy's own Card Gamer. How's it going, Card Gamer? It's going extremely well, extremely well. This show, it started, so that's a big win for me, because we're, yeah, exactly. Next we have Deep Suscat Extasio. How's it going? Great. Next we have Breaking Bandle's Metal. How's it going? Great. And last but certainly not least, Salty Simon from REO and Yodel in Arms. How's it going? Oh, wait, but I fixed it. Wait, can they hear? Hold on, I'm getting screamed at. Hold on. Sound D. NA production for sure. Disabled default. Wait, say something? Okay, say something. Okay, say something.
Las croquetas del mar están buenísimas.
There we go. I think we have audio now. Okay, so everyone introduced themselves, and Extasio said he was doing good, and Simon flamed people, and then Card Gamer said he was good, and then Metal said he was good. So, you didn't miss much. It's a very run of the course. But everybody should be able to hear you now. So, yeah. So thank you all for coming. Sorry we scuffed up the introductions, but let's just jump right into it with Group 1 standings for EMEA. We have Salty Simon and Extasio here. So, Extasio, you're in this group. How you feel about how this group has gone so far? You're also, I think, the only one qualified for playoffs, right?
Yeah, because the first team didn't play their matches yet, so They are not technically qualified. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with the performance of my team, especially because we started just always in getting one win and one lose each set. But I don't know. Ever since I started playing, we started getting 2-0s. So
okay.
that maybe say something.
So I'm just joking.
And I'm just very happy overall with the team performance, because I don't think the group 1 is as free as they say, but yeah.
Okay. Salty Simon, do you have thoughts on that?
Nah, that's not a bad take, actually. The entire group is free. What do you mean?
Okay.
I also want to point out that this current top 4 is my exact predictions.
Oh, is it? 4.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I guess.
I think so. Like right now, if we're looking at it, it's like us Ice Swallowers and Team Ambition Washed Up Heroes are like essentially locked for playoffs. They don't really need to do anything because there's a good chance that one of these other teams are just going to eliminate themselves by losing. But there is a tight race for that last spot. As you can see, there's one team at 5 and 7, and then 3 teams at 4 and 7, with TLG playing Wombats Phantom later. That has yet to be resolved. So one of those teams will move up to 5 and 7, one down to 4 and 8. So, guess. Let's say these top 4 are locked. Who do you got in that last slot?
For me, I'm with the Runeterra Pulse. Like not biased at all, but I think they are better than they're playing right now. I think they can play better, and I know they will, and that's why I think they will make playoffs.
So you said Runeterra Pulse?
Yeah.
Okay. Simon?
No, I agree. I also had Runeterra Pulse at 5th.
Okay. Cool. And what makes them so much better than the rest of the group for you?
The Wombats has fucking Hush, first of all.
Okay.
So
the Wombats have Wombats, period.
Yeah, true. The Wombats are Wombats, but they do have Hush. Like, that's important to remember.
Okay.
It's just that for instance, in the Runeterra Pulse, they have Cosimo, which is arguably one of the best players in the entire league anyway. And they also have other solid players that they can just win a series against anyone too. So I just think they have been underperforming a bit. I don't know why. Maybe it's the meta that doesn't suit them or whatever. But I know they can pull the in the next week a couple wins and just qualify.
Okay. Do you think they'll do better in the playoff format where it's a lot more individual play focused rather than team focused?
No, they will lose first round probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, on that note, any other thoughts before we move over to the predictions for the week 7?
No, I'm actually quite impressed with Ice Wallowers. I did not expect them to play that good. That's very much it. I did not expect them to be third by almost the end of the league.
Okay.
What? It's the Swedish guys. Of course they're good.
I mean, when they show up, they actually play good. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Well, all of them except one guy, I guess.
Let's see if that sticks with your predictions as we move over to predictions for Group 1. So for the first matchup, we have Runeterra Pals versus Copium Card Gamers. We all have Runeterra Pals. And, additionally, Wombats Phantom versus Deep Suscat. We all have Deep Suscat. Now, the first matchup is probably a little closer on paper. The second one, I think, is very straightforward, right? Why are we all giving the edge to Runeterra Pals here in the Copium Card Gamers matchup?
For me, it's just like I said, I think Cosimo can make the difference easily in that matchup, especially when there is that much difference on level. Yeah, I think they all start with a free win, and they just need one of two sets to win, right?
Right. Okay. The third no.
Copium has Eden. That was my idea.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get you. Third matchup, we have Ice Swallowers versus Team Ambition Washed Up Heroes. So, Salty Simon, you're the only one who went with Ice Swallowers. Why'd you make that choice?
I think the Swedish guys have improved a lot, and Pepsi Cola is good. I expect that Kivira won't be playing, so I think they have a stronger chance of winning now.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's respectable. I think that's a pretty close matchup.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, no, I think it's close to.
Yeah.
But the other team is already guaranteed, I think, so they probably won't play as hard, maybe.
That's true. I think we've already seen a little bit of that in Group 2, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But next matchup, Hold Up versus Team Leviathan Gaming. I've got TLG. Extasio's got TLG. Salty Simon, you got Hold Up. So you have to explain yourself. You're the odd one out.
No, I think Hold Up is better than people think, and TLG only has one good player.
And who is that? Go ahead and name them.
Ultraman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I think Ultraman. Like Dean sometimes, but I don't think he plays the game that much.
Gotcha.
Hold Up has Boki. They have... Oh, never mind. Huh. They also have only one good player.
Oh, okay.
God damn. Yeah, I guess it's close. Yeah, I don't know. They can flip a coin. It's close.
Right. Well, Hold Up does have the better record, so, I mean, it's not, surprising that you picked them.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Next matchup, Runeterra Pals versus Wombats Phantom. Again, we all going against Wombats Phantom. But this one is
obviously
a little closer, I would say, but still everyone picking Runeterra Pals. And
no, I don't think. I think Wombats ends at 4-9, I guess it will be. Yeah. I don't think they win one more.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all agree on that, but I think this matchup's closer than their one against Deep Suscat. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then, so we agree on these first three matchups of the second set, where we have Copium Card Gamers versus Ice Swallowers. We all have Ice Swallowers there. And then Deep Suscat, all 3-0 over Hold Up. Is there any chance for Hold Up and Copium to win those, or is it just...
Yeah, of course.
I mean, they can't target the Nivea. They have one guarantee free win.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why people are taking that much time in countering Katasus.
Like literally, if you have first pick against Saskat, you literally just target Nivea and you win every time. You get one free and then you have to do it.
Actually, Simon, this week the Pulse had first pick against us. They Masker played against Katasus. Masker playing triple Demacia, and Katasus won anyway.
Yeah, but I guess I guess you just lose to Nivea. Give up.
Yeah.
Go next.
Okay. And lastly, we have Team Ambition Washed Up Heroes versus TLG. I have TLG just because I would like to see TLG in playoffs, so I kind of picked them to go 2-0 this week.
It's a bit too late for that.
No, they could still make it. They could still make. They're all fighting for that last spot, you know. So if they go 2-0, they have a good shot of getting that 5th spot.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a tough one for sure. It's gonna be a tough one for sure.
Okay, no.
You said no? Just
agree.
no?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, no, I agree.
I mean, I said I want it. I didn't say it would happen, okay? Okay, any final thoughts on Group 1 before we move over to Group 2?
Yeah, what Dina says is true. At least they made it to top 32, unlike Simon.
Yeah. And how did it go there, huh? How did it go? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, moving on to Group 2. Some would say the Group of Death. And I think that's pretty fair because we have 3 teams sitting at 8 and 4. 2.5 Man, Ario, and LORFR. In 4th, we have Super Sprout, 7 and 5. Team Camp Gaming sitting there at 5th with 6 and 5 record. And Phoenix at 5 and 7. ANC Outplayed at 3 and 8. And GLHF at 2 and 10.
Oh, I'm so good at the prediction stuff. It's actually insane. This is my top 5 again. What the fuck?
Okay. So, actually, I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction that this group is wrapped. I would say, like, this top 5 is just wrapped up. I don't...
Yeah.
I from what I understand and the stuff that I've seen from behind the scenes, I don't think Phoenix is going to contest for that last spot, unfortunately.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree that the Group 2, aka overrated, is already wrapped.
Overrated? Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because Phoenix had that 0-12 last week because they didn't.
Yeah,
submit
that
a
was
lineup.
rough.
And
Yeah, we just fighting for the top 3 now, so we don't have to play one additional game.
Yeah, exactly. Now LORFR did have that 0-2 week, and I think that harkens back to what you were saying about how teams that already advanced to playoffs kind of stopped taking it seriously. But I mean, I think it's a little bit of that because they lost to GLHF and TKG this week. Those are 2 teams they definitely should have beat.
Yeah, it's 2 shit
I
teams.
don't know. For me, Lord France is the worst out of these top 5. So I don't think they should be beating TKG like that easily, or as easily as you may think.
Wait, okay, Excelsior, have you been watching Group 2 all season?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
they've been dominating all season, so I mean that's a little weird of a take, I would say.
I mean, yeah, I know the rankings because I was following 2.5 Man and Rio, and I just don't think they are as good as Super Sprout either, for instance.
Yeah. No, I kind of agree with Extasio. Like, it kind of shows if you look at the game record as well. Like, there's certainly good players, but...
Congrats farming the bottom 2 teams, like, clap, I guess.
Okay. I don't know. Like, they just went 3-11 last week, so, like, looking at their game score, they were 45-31 beforehand. So, I don't know. It's hard to take much stock into last week if they really just kind of took the week off. But I definitely wouldn't be sleeping on LORFR. I mean, they've taken the wins that they needed to. They've beaten 2.5 Man and Ario already this season. So, I don't know. It seems weird to kind of just discount their wins. But this week will be kind of a test week for them because they play 2.5 Man and Ario again. So.
No, like, but like I'm not saying the team is bad, like, by any means. Like, the thing is that in Group 2 there are a lot of very, very good teams, and I just think that Lord France is not the best out of those very good teams.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. All right.
Oh, I agree. I think they're better than TDD, Team K Gaming for sure, but I think they're worse than Super Sprout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay. Okay. Any other thoughts on this group before we move on to predictions? Who's getting the 1 seed?
No.
Is it 2.5 men or Ario getting the 1 seed?
Depending on who are playing against this week.
TAHM is playing LORFR and TKG, and Ario is playing GLHF and LORFR.
No, I think we take it. I think we take it.
I
I think
mean,
French will beat the Spy. No, I don't actually.
Rio has the easier week, but I don't know. Maybe like the thing is, 2.5 men has a better record, right, of games wins.
Yeah, I think they both will end 10-4.
Yeah, probably. I agree.
Okay.
And then they probably will have a better tiebreakers than such.
Okay. Moving on to predictions. We have 2.5 men versus LORFR in the first round. We both have 2.5 men. We all have 2.5 men winning that. And I think it just kind of speaks to LORFR's recent performance, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up winning that match. Next match, we have TKG versus Phoenix. Extasio, you have Phoenix. Well, would you like to touch on that?
Yeah, like I do think Phoenix is a very good team, but the thing is that their lineups, and with lineups I mean the players that have been playing, were not the most wisest ones, I'd say. Like if Arats and Kata play and they send decks, they are a pretty solid team. But they need to send decks, and Arats and Kata need to play, right?
Gotcha.
If those things are met, I think they can easily win against any team.
Okay. Thoughts on that, Simon?
I don't think they're gonna show up, so
okay.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Fair.
I think that's fair. Ario versus GLHF. I think that's very straightforward. We all picked Ario. Super Sprouts versus. I'm sorry, I'm blanking.
Who cares? This thing is like
ANC outplayed. ANC
Italians.
outplayed.
Oh.
Yeah. Super Sprouts. We all have Super Sprouts. I think that's another like top team versus a bottom team matchup.
But okay, all predictions are so even everywhere. What the hell?
Yeah, because this group is whatever. It has no spice whatsoever. Just the most boring group.
I guess that is kind of true. If the 5 are locked, there is really no spice, right? Like, you kind of just pick the top 5, right? So, I can understand that. TKG
Man, what the fuck?
2.5 men. We have 2.5 men winning. And then LORFR, we have Ario versus Ario, and we all have Ario winning. And then Phoenix versus Super Sprouts, we all have Super Sprouts winning. So
Wait, Super Sprouts is such a free week. What the fuck?
And then GLHF versus ANC Outplayed. I'm the only one who took ANC Outplayed. I think over the whole season, ANC Outplayed has been better than GLHF, but GLHF has kind of been on a hot.
I mean, no shit. Good Luck Have Fun was like 0-8 until last week. No shit, yes. They have been playing worse.
No, but I feel like Good Luck Have Fun has not been taking the tournament serious at all, kinda.
Yeah.
But they've still been trying to win. And the Italian team has been trying but failed, so they're probably not going to care this week at all because they can't make it.
Right. I think there's a small chance that OP could make it. I think they lose on tiebreaker anyway, but
yeah, I think they gave up.
Yeah, so okay. Any final thoughts on EMEA before we move over to AM?
No, let's go to the boring region.
Okay. Any final thoughts, Extasio? Because I know you're gonna leave soon. So
I know that whatever happens, that thank you for doing the league in Europe. It has been so much fun, and I hope you do it again for next season.
All right.
That's very much it.
Let's all pray for Cross-Shard. Let's pray for Cross-Shard, right? Then we can have just a giant league.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
That's a lot of phobia.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us, Extasio, and we'll move over to AM. And to answer Karaski's, is that how you say it? Karaki? This question, yes. For EMEA, playoffs is Group 1 versus Group 2. in the first round. So, moving on to AM Group 1, we have sitting there at the top. And by the way, this is a league that actually this is the league that actually plays their games. So, everyone will have all 12 matches finished, except I think in Group 3 and 2. So
yeah, half of this league plays their games.
Yeah. In a timely manner, anyway. I think a lot of EMEA players are playing like right now, actually. So, it's pretty funny. But Ruterra Tennis Academy sitting there up alone at 9-3. I think also the only team qualified for this from this group, but the 7-5 teams are basically in as well. Yeah, RTA is the only one in. So, Frozen Monks sitting there tied with Wombats Flingons at 7-5. And then we have two teams at 6-6, Team Space Poggers and Yordles in Arms, Howdy Gamers and OTK at 5-7, and then GKT at 3-9. And if I'm not mistaken, yes, GKT is completely eliminated. Runeterra Tennis Academy is completely qualified, and then everything else is kind of a toss-up at this point. I think every single team from 2 to 7 can qualify or be eliminated based on the last week. So, Metal, Card Gamer, Simon, what are your thoughts on this group?
Man, I can't believe I threw. God damn it. I actually losing to Wombats, man. I actually feel so down. God, fuck. Fucking NA. It ruined my mental.
I think ever since Runeterra Tennis Academy picked up Floppy, they kind of been on a pretty good streak, like Quack was saying in chat. I think he's gone undefeated so far in the league.
Yeah, he's 6-0.
Yeah, he's 6-0.
Yeah, Floppy's 6-0. I haven't dropped a game either since Floppy came in. So me and Floppy just, we've been winning since week 3. We had a bit of a rough start. We went 0-2 week 1 and 1-1 week 2, but after that, it's been easy.
Gotcha. Are you saying Floppy augmented your own skill, Metal?
Well, not Metal, but yeah, kind of. Like, dude, me and Floppy just run games.
Sorry. Yeah, actually, ever since
we just play games all the time, and now I'm just better.
Ever since Floppy joined, my team has been winning too, so maybe he is good luck for my team.
Yeah. Yo, don't worry, we got you, Metal. It was, we didn't do it just for us. It wasn't purely selfish picking up Floppy.
That's funny. So, and sorry for getting you wrong, Card Gamer. I haven't learned the voices yet. But,
all good.
So, only 5 makes playoffs, right? Who are your 5 here? Is it the top 5? Is Howdy going to sneak in? Like, what are we thinking?
No, I think it's just like this. The order might be different, but this is the top 5 for sure.
Card Gamer?
Yeah.
This is most likely the top 5. The order will be pretty weird, I think. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Space Poggers gets 3rd, just like looking at the schedule. But I would probably assume this is the top 5.
I wouldn't be surprised if Frozen Monks ends up like 4th or 5th or something like that. Because they're playing against two teams that are kind of like do or die, right? They're playing.
They're gonna lose against us, and they're gonna beat Howdy.
Okay.
They have a pretty good lead though, so I think they're probably safe.
Yeah, I think they're safe. I just wouldn't be surprised if they end up as one of the lower seeds. And I think the Wombats Flingon versus RTA matchup will have very little stakes. So I don't know how that'll actually shake out and if they're gonna meme it up or anything like that. Okay, well, so we all think it's Yordles in Arms is gonna sneak in, and Howdy's gonna be on the outside looking in. No thoughts on OTK maybe making it?
No, of course not.
Okay.
Yeah, I think OTK's just had a rough season, and they don't use the format very well. Like, they're the most predictable team in the group.
Gotcha. I mean, they are playing spoiler for sure, right? They play against Space Poggers and Yordles in Arms. Those are the 2 6-6 teams. So if they end up 2-0ing or taking a win, I mean, that could really change things up. But you all think that, like, it's just not likely. So,
yeah.
Okay.
It could happen. They're good players. I wouldn't be the most surprised, but like if I had to put money on it, I wouldn't put money on OTK having a 2-0 week.
If they win both their games, it means they're in, right? Because the other teams, well, actually, I guess it depends on their win rate then and how the other teams they're against perform as well, right?
I think if they beat Space Poggers they are pretty much guaranteed at least a tiebreaker.
Yeah, they'd get a tiebreaker,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't be guaranteed.
Yeah, it wouldn't be guaranteed. But if they go 2-0, I think they're just in. I don't know if they have tiebreakers after that. Well, actually, yeah, I'm looking. There are a couple situations where they have tiebreakers after a 2-0. But yeah. Okay. Well, on that note, let's move over to predictions. And let's see if you guys align with what you're saying for the standings. First matchup, we have RTA versus GKT. We all have RTA. Simon, you're here. I mean, you might as well throw your predictions in as well. Who do you got? I assume you have RTA in this matchup as well.
Yes.
Okay. Wombats Flingon versus Howdy. We all have Wombats Flingon. I mean, it looks like we're basically all the same until the last.
Nah,
two
man, there's no way
matches.
Howdy wins. There's no way. No. Wombats doesn't win this. Howdy wins.
Okay. Space
You guys are wrong.
Poggers versus OTK.
Yeah.
Space Poggers for everyone. Frozen Monks versus Yodelin Arms. I think Simon will disagree, but everyone else has Frozen Monks.
Well, we beat them last time, and it's time for me to do better. So we have to win.
Oh, okay. You just have to win because it's your playoffs, right?
Exactly. That's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah,
Frozen
I'll
Monk.
say that's the matchup I'm the least sure on. Like, I really think that can go either way, and I would assume whoever wins that matchup ends up locking like a top 3 spot. I would not be surprised if that's the case.
Frozen Monks also seems to be using the format very well. I checked their first pick win rate, and they have 65%, which I think is one of the highest in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And M-Tux is 10-2 in sets this season. He's probably the best performing player for players that have played the whole season, right? So
Yes, but then they also have a Kaido, right?
look, man, the more I watch that Aikado play, I realize that he just gets thrown as like the sacrificial lamb. I feel bad for him, but getting picked as the sacrificial lamb and going 6-6 is not too bad, I would say.
No. Fuck, man. I can't believe. Fuck. I can't even shit talk with my score. Fuck. This is so boring. God fucking damn it. Oh.
Okay. The next
just say you're
matchup.
against Predator opponents.
Yeah. Say it's just more difficult. Wombats Flingon versus RTA. We all have RTA here. Like I said, I don't think that match will have very much consequences by the time it comes around. GKT versus Space Poggers. We all have Space Poggers. Howdy versus Frozen Monks. I have Frozen Monks. You guys have Howdy. Is it kind of like first pick advantage, or what are we thinking here?
So I think it's 2 things. I think that this match doesn't matter that much for Frozen Monks compared to the Yordles and Arms match. So they're going to put a lot of their effort and a lot of their like stock in where they decide to pick decks into beating Yordles and Arms.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Howdy's a really good team, and they got hurt a lot last week by Chekhov not playing. Howdy was a pretty solid team last season, but they're in a tougher group, which makes it harder. But they did pick up Chekhov, and I think Chekhov's their best player and does a lot for their team. And, they didn't have him last week, and they went out too.
Now
so I'd expect them to pick up at least one win
You
this week.
did say like this matchup is not going to mean as much, but if Frozen Monks loses to Yordles and Arms and Howdy wins against Flingons, this matchup could be almost make or break for Frozen Monks. Like they could literally get eliminated. So
I'm working under the assumption things go as I predicted, but like group 1 is so close that like any little upset can just like make everything so exciting.
Right. I think it'll be fun. And speaking of exciting matchups, the OTK versus Yordle and Arms, that one also kind of have a lot of consequences based on how the first round goes. Could be like the game, right? It could be literally the deciding match if things go differently than we predict up top. So, but yeah, I think I picked Yordle and Arms, Card Gamer, Yordle and Arms, Metal. You picked OTK. What's the thought here?
I was just thinking that OTK would kind of focus all their effort on winning this matchup, even though they basically need to win both their matchups to qualify, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly just first pick advantage.
Gotcha.
from my perspective.
Do you guys operate that way? Like when you're prepping, do you prep for one match a lot more than the other, or do you kind of do 50-50 stock, or like how's it work?
So from my experience in the league, what I kind of realized was after a few weeks is that you have a lot more agency in kind of deciding your fate with first pick as opposed to second pick. That's kind of when you have second pick, it's a little bit out of your power in terms of how well you can prepare a lineup to actually target your first pick opponents, at least from my experience. So that's why I put a lot of stock in first pick advantage. If the team can use it correctly, I think most teams definitely are favored in first pick.
Okay. Any final thoughts on Group 1 before we move over to Group 2?
I just want to add on to what Michael was saying real quick, and I think it's super relevant to groups like Group 1, where there's something that happens. This happened with Stromboli last season, and it might happen with Wombats this season, where the way you build your lineups, you're kind of incentivized just to prep for one opponent to give yourself the best chances to guarantee playoffs. Wombats is guaranteed in if they get one win. So it almost makes more sense for them to put a lot of their stock into just going, okay, let's make sure we beat Howdy. They're a more reasonable opponent to beat, and if we beat Howdy, we are locked for playoffs pretty much.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, they do have the double first pick this week, so maybe they can kind of prep for both by doing so. Okay. Well, on that note, let's move over to Group 2. And it's been my kind of talking point for the season is Virtue Gaming Discipline sitting there at 9-2. They still haven't played their matchup against TAHB yet, but I kind of predict that they win that one as well. That this is a team that Virtue Gaming had
What
two
the
teams.
fuck is 0-12?
What's that? Oh yeah,
I'm sorry. Never mind.
It's okay. Virtue Gaming was two separate teams, and then they kind of matched the two teams into one, and now they're just kind of dominating in a very strong group. So any thoughts on? Because I don't think we haven't. Yeah, no one here is in Group 2. So any thoughts on how Group 2 has been going?
Yeah, I think it's a bunch of things coming to play in Group 2. I think all of Group 2, with the exception of VGD, is significantly and TKG are significantly underperforming. I rated the players on a lot of these other teams a lot higher than what they're showing.
Mm-hmm. And
I think TKG has just came out and been really impressive. I've seen these players a little bit in weird events here and there and on ladder, and they've been reasonable players, but I think they're really showing their strength as players this season. And I think VGD, their players just got a lot better from last season, and they're taking advantage of being smart people who can learn the format. Because they did this before, they cut the slack from their teams, and now they're just the most optimized version of what they had last season.
And a team that was kind of middling in the beginning, Mastering Runeterra, has now kind of turned it on, sitting there at 8-4. And Church of Targon, who's kind of been dominating all season, is kind of falling there down to third place in 7-4. TKG, also a team that was kind of middling, now on the upside. And then I think this is another group where we're going to have maybe an exciting finish for that 5th spot, depending on how TAHB's matchups go this week. If they get 0-2'd, then I think they're just out, right? But I think it could be very interesting seeing how Zenigma Stromboli and Worldwide Wombats do this week. Because I'm gonna be honest, I need to see Stromboli in playoffs again. I need to see it happen. So I'm hoping they kind of slide into that 5th spot. What do you guys think? Yeah. Is the top 5 going to be how it is right now, or?
I wouldn't be surprised if Hydra Black goes in, but I've given up on Stromboli. I love those guys. I help them prep and I scrim with them time to time, but they brought Yasuo last week. Come on.
Okay, dude. All right. Anyone else think?
I think there's probably a chance that Hydra can sneak in a top 5 depending on how their matches go. Because next week they're against Cardinal and also Stromboli. So I think if they really prep for just the strong Bully match, they can probably sneak in if they prepare well enough for that one.
Yeah, I
Right.
think Hydra and Wombats will change place.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's extremely dependent on how Hydra does this week, right? Like, they play VGD and Chip. So, if they go 0-2, they're basically out, right? I don't think they can... They could probably tie with Wombats, and then, like, that would be the extent of it. They probably still lose on score, right? But yeah.
It's hard
Yeah.
to know.
No, but they can get 7 and Wombats can get like 6, you know? It's possible.
Yeah, it's for sure. I'm not saying it's impossible, but they have to play their 2 matches for this week, and they have extremely tough opponents. So
I mean, they just need to go 3-1.
true, very true.
And Wombats will go 0-2, right? So
Okay, all right. You just guaranteeing Wombats 0-2. Okay, I like it. On that note, let's move over to predictions for Group 2. First matchup, we have Church of Targon versus TKG. I have TKG. You guys have Church of Targon. I think this match is extremely close. I think Church of Targon is sliding a little bit, and TKG is on the uprise, so that's why I kind of picked TKG. Any thoughts on that matchup?
Yeah, I think that's fair, but I think a lot of chip sliding, you can say it's due to like maybe next time playing less, who was like 100% their best player last season.
Mm-hmm.
But Infinity and Skate this have been pretty strong recently, and I think they spent a lot of energy prepping for Top Cut this past week and seasonals. So I think with that being said and being able to put more energy into Aegis, they'll be really good. I also think their entire team is rather creative, and they're pretty good at getting on top of like new ideas and figuring out not the best ways, but like very playable ways to like execute those ideas. So I think they'll benefit a lot from playing in like day 1 of a patch, pretty much, or not just a patch, but an expansion.
Another thing that people haven't mentioned is the new Targon landmark is gonna insanely buff Talia Malphite to probably tier 0. So that's gonna give their team a huge boost.
Well, okay, on that note, let's talk about that. So, yeah, the patch is dropping, but do we really think many people are going to try anything new this next week? I mean, outside of the teams that are already eliminated, right? They're going to bring Mimi stuff. But, like, teams that are playing for playoffs might not be bringing anything new. I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Well, it depends how strong things are, right? Like, everyone brought Ezreal Ken in week 1 for when this was like RA, right? Because it was just so broken. Like, even with 1 day, we figured it out. But it might not be like that, and everyone just brings classic stuff. But it could be like Jin super broken, and Skate, this is very creative. So maybe he has like one of the better Jin builds for, the day.
Okay.
I think it also depends on the balance patches, obviously, as well.
Right.
Like if anything's nerfed.
Do you think that? I mean, have they talked about balance patches going in with that big patch, or?
No, they haven't. But in the last big release, didn't they do? I think like 4 or 5 small changes that weren't announced also, so that could be possible.
Okay. Yeah, I just think from like a logical standpoint, I think if you're a team that's trying to win, you're probably not going to bring anything ridiculously different. Maybe you'll throw in a card that is like a must-have in a certain archetype, like a 3 of something. But like I wouldn't be surprised if they just don't change much. But like where playoffs, I imagine it would get extremely spicy. But yeah, we never know, of course. So on that note, let's move on to the next match. We have VGD versus MRP. We all have VGD winning. I mean, that's kind of a surprise because it is 1 versus 2, but I think we're all kind of confident how good VGD's been playing all season.
Yeah, I think MRP slacks off a lot too, and I think a lot of their players will be more focused on content than prepping for the league, where VGD will not. That won't be the case.
Makes sense. And yeah, they might also they already know they're in playoffs, so they might not play as hard or prep as hard or anything like that. But it's all speculation.
I mean, they probably want to maintain like their top 3 spot, right?
Right.
That's a big incentive to not slack off, I think.
Yeah. I think it'll be funny because I'm sure there are players that are playing in the league right now don't even realize that they're a 4v5 matchup. You'd be surprised when we get to playoffs. There's going to be players that don't even know that the playoff format is different. So,
like the way I see it, if you make top 3, it's kind of like already winning a playoff game. So I think that's a pretty big incentive.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Next match we have Worldwide Wombats versus Zenigma Stromboli, a pretty impactful matchup for playoffs. I have Zenigma Stromboli. You guys have Worldwide Wombats. And I'm not even going to front. I just want to see Zenes. I need Stromboli back in playoffs. So I have them going 2-0 this week. But I definitely understand why you guys picked Worldwide Wombats.
Yeah, Stromboli just keeps bringing bad decks. And that wasn't why they were winning last season.
Yeah.
Just
maybe
bring good
this week
decks.
with the new cards, they'll bring what's supposed to be a bad deck and it will accidentally be a really good deck.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Next matchup, we have Card versus TAHB. Very straightforward. We all think Hydra Black is going to win because it's a very important matchup for Hydra Black to win. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try hard even against Card. Next match, we have VGD versus Chip. Me and Metal have VGD. Card game, you have Chip. Well, what's up with that?
I think Chip knows this win's really important, and I think they're just gonna come out clutch this week because I know they want top 3. So
Okay.
I think they're just gonna come through when it matters. Yeah. Also, Talia Malphite buffs. That shit's broken.
Okay. All right, sick.
I'm actually the inverse of that. So I think VGD also knows this game's very important, so they're going to prepare solely for this one as well, if anything. And since they have first pick, I think they can prepare better for it.
Yeah, makes sense. Next match, we have TKG versus Worldwide Wombats. We all have TKG winning. And then the next matchup, we have MRP versus Card. I have Card winning, and the reason is they just can't go winless, dude. They cannot go 0-14. I don't even. Did we have an 0-14 team last season?
Okay, it's literally better to
Wow.
0-14 than 1-13. It just looks better.
I don't think Flannel went 0-14.
No,
they
it
did
didn't.
last season.
No,
And
I
not
don't
this
think they
season.
did. I don't think they did. Okay, maybe they did go 0-14, but I thought
I could have sworn there was a 0-win team last season. There always has to be one.
Yeah. And this time it's Cardinals.
okay.
Flannel got their win.
All right.
Nah, they're not winning.
And then Zenigma Stromboli versus TAHB, also a matchup that could have huge implications for playoffs. Me and Metal have Zenes, and Card Gamer have TAHB. Card Gamer, you're the odd one out. Why TAHB?
I'm making a point. I would just want Stromboli to bring good decks again. Is it that much to ask? They play Udyr, they play Yasuo. Just play good cards, man.
Okay, all right. I guess that's fair. And by the way, no, Flannel did not go winless last season. We had 3 teams that went 2-12 last season, and Flannel was one of them. Yeah, so we haven't had an 0-14 team, and we're not gonna.
Okay, yeah.
Card is gonna upset.
You have to have one.
Okay.
Literally, it's way better to go to 0-14 than 1-13. You're literally just gonna piss everyone off if you win that last one.
Okay. All right. Going on to Group 3. Is there any final thoughts before we move on to Group 3? No? Okay.
No, I don't think so. I guess I can see Cardinal winning. If Flannel and Clown Fiesta went 2-12 last season, I guess Cardinal can beat MRP.
Okay. All right. Next we have Group 3 standings. At the top, we have NA Farmers sitting there at 9-3, OCE in second at 8-4, Puffcat Peddlers at 7-4. They haven't finished their matchup yet against who are they supposed to play? There's like one set that hasn't finished in this group, and it's PCP versus JDGG. So we're waiting on that final set to come through. Wombats After Dark is 6-6. Open Pass at 5-7. Just Draw Good Gamers 4-7, and then OGAT and IC Gaming Team A both sitting at 4-8. So another group where that 5th spot is up for grabs. It hasn't been.
And it won't be
quite yet.
Wombats.
Was that?
And it won't be Wombats.
It won't be Wombats. Are you saying Wombats drop out?
Of course.
Okay. All right.
This is the worst Wombats team.
Yeah.
What?
Maybe.
This is Team Manesia solo carry.
Wow, that is such an insane take. Okay.
Sonic Coach is pretty good.
I mean, like this was the team that went 14-0 last season. So like, why are they the worst team now?
They weren't that much better than the other Wombat. Okay, they were a lot better than the Wombat team last season, but I think Worldwide Wombats is like actually really trying now and playing a lot better. They've always had good players, but their players just like weren't playing as well as they could. And Flingons is just like a way better version of the Wombats team that it was before.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's super fair.
I just want to point out that Stolen Conch brought Singleton decks 1 week.
Yes, because he wanted
That is
3
true.
decks named after him. That's why. Because I said in chat that if you bring a deck with 6 unique champions, that you'll get. We'll name the deck after you.
Okay, but why did the rest of the cards have to be one-offs?
What's that? Oh, the rest of the
Why
cards
did
have
the
to be
deck
one.
have to be one-off?
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of that, but I know what the driving force behind the initial.
Like 6
idea
unique
was.
champions is not that hard. That you
Yeah.
can do, but
Yeah, I know.
did he win that week at all?
No, he did not.
No. Okay.
Yeah. So, he does that kind of stuff from time to time. I think maybe Wombat After Dark is not taking this regular season as seriously as they took the last one, but I still think they're kind of locked for playoffs, to be honest.
Yeah, they
Nice.
probably
Not
do
work.
make playoffs. In all actuality, I'd be surprised if they don't. They do actually have pretty good players. But yeah, they just had such an easy group last time, and now they don't.
Gotcha. Yeah, and Farm and OCE have locked their playoff spots. PCP is like I think like 0.4% from locking their playoff spots. So basically, they just have to just not int on tiebreakers and they'll be fine. And then the rest is kind of just up for grabs. So who are your top 5 in this group? Okay, not everyone at
Let's
once.
see.
It would probably just be the 5 now. I wouldn't be that surprised if JDGG can sneak in over open, but I'd expect it to be this 5. And the 3 are locked. I think the more exciting question is who gets first of OS or Farmers.
Well,
Probably gonna be any farmers.
yeah,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think Broken Ball will play next. Actually, maybe not. Never mind. I don't know.
Yeah, Farmers did just beat OS like this week, and their next week is like pretty easy. They play against Open and ICA, and then OS has to play against PCP and Open. So,
Bro, I can't believe IC is so bad. What the hell? I had them in my top 4. God damn it.
I mean, there's
Yeah, that
still a
was
chance. There's still a chance.
Wait, they have a chance to qualify?
Yeah, they have
Sorry?
a chance. They have a chance to qualify. Of course they
They
do.
do not have a chance.
Yeah, they do. They're only 1 game back from 5th place.
Yeah,
Oh,
they literally don't.
Oh, okay. All right, my bad.
Thanks. There we go. No, I think just Struggle Gamers and Wombats change place, and that's it. That's the top 5.
Gotcha. Okay. On that note, let's move over to predictions and see if they line up with what you're saying. In the first matchup, we have OCE versus PCP. I have PCP. You guys have OCE. My reasoning is that PCP has a better logo. There, I said it. I think it's an extremely close match, like an extremely close match. But I gave the edge to PCP because I think Vendulum has been insane ever since they had him start playing, and yeah, so I think that'll be the edge.
I just think OS has better players.
That's fair, completely fair.
I think just OC probably is going to focus on this matchup as well, more than the other ones.
Oh, okay. You think OC is gonna like put all their eggs into the PCP game instead of the open pass one?
Yeah, just to keep them from passing them for top 3, probably.
Gotcha. All right, next matchup we have open pass versus NA farmers. We all have NA farmers. I think that's pretty straightforward. OGAT versus JDGG. Me and Card Gamer have JDGG, and Metal you have OGAT. What's up with that?
I just kind of looked at their win rate on first pick and second pick, and I think Just Strugged Gamers didn't have a very good win rate going second. That was just my logic.
Solid logic.
Yeah, it's only 40% going second.
Okay, I mean, makes sense. Icy Gaming Team A versus Wombats After Dark. Me and Card Gamer have Wombats After Dark. Metal, Icy Gaming Team A. Are you? Is this faith, or are you thinking just first pick difference, or what?
No, I have faith in ICA. I think they've had a bit of a rough season, but I think they can finish strong, hopefully.
Okay, cool. Open Pass versus OCE. We all have OCE. I think that's pretty straightforward, and so is the next two. PCP versus OGAT, all PCP. NA Farmers versus Icy Gaming A. NA Farmers all the way. And JDGG versus Wombats After Dark. Me and Card Gamer have Wombats After Dark, and Metal, you have JDGG. So again, you're the odd one out. Explain yourself here.
I guess it's mostly first pick diff, and also, like we were saying earlier, sometimes Wombats After Dark doesn't take the week like too seriously, so
Yeah, but
I'm
they
not
gotta
sure if
take
they
this
might,
week seriously.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a new patch week, so they might bring like copium decks. You never know.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, this week could be decided by how good you adapt to the patch, but I'm largely in the mindset that I don't think people are going to bring that much spice this week, and that all the spice will come next week.
It's also Stolen Conch's last chance to get 3 new decks named after himself.
That is true.
So I think that's a pretty big draw.
I feel like you're baiting him now. Like, I feel like you're just trying to get him to end by bringing bad decks.
I bet I can say my predictions right.
Okay. All right. Any final thoughts on Group 3 before we move to the final group of AM? No?
Yeah, I think this group's pretty straightforward. Like, I don't think Wombats are gonna, like, choke that hard to the point where they don't make playoffs.
I bet this is almost O2 week. Kind of clear. Like, Icy Gaming is gonna pop off.
Okay. All right. I'm glad it's crystal clear for you.
Yeah.
Not for anyone else, though. On that note, let's move over to Group 4. At the top, we have Blood Trail Gaming sitting there with a 9-3 record. In second place, Metal's own Breaking Bandle at 8-4. Third place, Beautiful Gamers at 7-4. TA Hydra White and Icy Gaming Team B at 7-5. Omega Gaming at 5-7. Shikate at 3-8. And Flannel at 1-11. Now, Beautiful Gamers and Shikate have to play one more set. I think they're like 2-2 right now.
I think their set actually finished. I don't think it's updated on here yet, but Shikate won that set, I think.
Okay, so if that's true, then we have 3 teams at 7-5, and then 1 team at 9-3 and 1 at 8-4. I think this group is locked, right? I mean, like, I don't see how. I'm trying to look. Like, Omega has like a tiny chance. Omega does have a really good game win record, so if they do end up going 7-7, they probably are going to win on tiebreakers. But it's gonna be tough, right? Because they have to
Just
play
wanted to-
ICB and Blood Trail.
I wanted to point out that Omega's, I think, the only team out of top 5 that has a win rate over 50%, and it's like significantly over 50%.
Yeah.
I think it's 55 or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're the only team I think in Aegis history to go 12-0 in a week, so that really helped. And yeah, they're at 56%. They have higher win rates than they have almost a higher win rate than Blood Trail Gaming in game score. So that's kind of crazy to think about. So yeah, if they end up going 2-0 this week, which will be tough because they have to play ICB and Blood Trail, then I think they're just guaranteed in because they'll win on tiebreaker. But that is a tall ask, right? I think it's very safe to say that the top 5 are going to be what they are. So, any other thoughts on this group, especially from Metal?
I just want to point out that the last time we did the recap, my group was actually 2-4. So we've got 6 wins in a row now.
Oh.
And everyone was saying that we would stay on the bottom.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, you just wanted to come on here. I mean, that's the whole reason you came on the show, right? Is just to say that, like, haha, we went 6-0, everybody was wrong.
Yeah, I'm trying to hype up my team for the playoffs.
I mean,
it doesn't matter when you're gonna lose the first game anyway.
Uh,
all right. I mean,
At least my team's making it on AM.
Yeah.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. We will make it.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if you didn't make it on AM, but you made it on EMEA, that means we're the better server, right?
Okay, that's pretty good logic. Simon, what do you got to say to that?
I have to go. Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, if you don't make another group, I will admit. And it's better than you. Okay.
Okay. All right.
But we make it, though. No worries.
Okay. On that note, let's go to predictions. And let's touch on that real quick. So we have Omega Gaming versus Icy Gaming Team B. Everyone has Omega Gaming going and getting that W. Even though that game is probably, I mean, if you look at the records, it's ICB favored. So any thoughts on why everyone seems so confident in Omega winning that one? Or is it just first big difference?
I think actually Omega is going to have a huge morale boost this week with Prodigy.
True.
And the seasonals.
That is true. Prodigy is the seasonal champion. He is on Omega Gaming, so that is part of why I have them going 2-0 this week. But Card Gamer, what are your thoughts?
Omega, like, I don't know what's up with Omega, but, like, I swear they just like to throw. Like, this happened last season too, Red. Like, they were positive in game score, and then they didn't make it out of their group. Like, I feel like they should win a lot of these sets, and then they just don't. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll still put my faith in them to win this one.
Yeah, and last season they also had a really, like, tough group, right? I mean, we could be in another situation where, like, Omega Gaming's group has a bunch of 7-7 teams at the end of the day. But this time they would win on tiebreakers instead of losing on tiebreakers. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this week shakes out. But next match, Blood Trail Gaming versus Team Ambition Hydra White. Guys, what is with the Hydra White, faith? Why are we so high on them?
For some reason, like, Hydra White has a much better win rate going second. It's like 15% higher. So I'm not really sure what's up with that, but they just seem to perform better there.
Okay.
It's because Hydra White doesn't prep. At least this is how it was last season. They just slam whatever lineups they're bringing this weekend, and they just, like, skill diff. And they're really good at coming in clutch, so I think they're probably going to pull out this win against both of their wins this week when it matters.
Okay. Interesting. Breaking Bandle versus Beautiful Gamers. Me and Metal have Breaking Bandle. Card Gamer, you went Beautiful Gamers. So why are they gonna take the dub?
They're just really good players. like player for player, they're one of the best, if not the best team in Aegis. Probably they're up there. So I mean, I think it's hard to root against them, and they tend to shape up for playoffs as well.
Yeah, they shape up when they're in playoffs. They're not in playoffs yet.
No, but they were in a spot like this last season where they were close and like kind of on the edge, and then they had a 2-0 week at the end to guarantee it. So I would expect them to go 2-0 this last week as well.
Gotcha.
They're also against Flannel this week, so they're probably going to focus for my team pretty much.
Okay.
That should be interesting.
Right. But you're saying it's not going to matter because you're just going to win anyway.
Yeah, I think they kind of have a bit of an advantage with playing on patch day probably, because my team hasn't really hasn't played like on a big patch day yet. But we have faith in our logo and our players.
Gotcha. All in the bandle. Gotcha. All right, on that match, on that next matchup, we have Shikate versus Flannel. So we all have Shikate there. I think that's very straightforward. Flannel got their 1 dub, so I can't put my faith in them. They're not. There's no reason that they will go and get a W this week because there's nothing in it for them, right? So
Yeah, checks out.
Yeah, checks out, right? If they were winless, then I'd probably give them the W. But they have a dub, so it's not going to matter. Next match we have Blood Trail versus Omega Gaming. I mean, I understand why you went with Blood Trail. I got to put my faith in Omega making playoffs, so I got them going 2-0. That's how I have it.
Maybe Blood Trail will slack off since they have like a really huge lead in our group.
Yeah, is that what you're hoping for?
I feel pretty bad for Omega, honestly, because they're like a really good team. They just get kind of they got kind of screwed over on how the format works, basically.
Well, I mean, maybe that's true. And if Omega wasn't a pre-made team, right? I know the owner of Omega picked them up, but I think they were like kind of put together from like a looking for team channel, if I'm not mistaken. So kind of crazy how good they do without having that much previous energy. But yeah, I think it'll be tough. I'm really hoping they make playoffs. I think they'd make a lot of noise in playoffs if they made it. But we'll see how things go. Next matchup, Icy Gaming Team B versus Breaking Bandle. Metal, you have Breaking Bandle. We have Icy Gaming Team B. Tell us why your team wins.
I mean, if I don't think my team's gonna win, it's not gonna happen, right? I have to have faith.
Okay.
Yeah, I can respect that. I think this matchup's going to be really close. Like this and the Blood Trail versus Omega ones, I have to pick one. So I picked the way I did, kind of on intuition, but I really wouldn't be surprised if these games go the other way.
Yeah, me too. I don't think anybody would be here saying like 100% win for Icy Gaming Team B. I just think, out of the 2 matchups, just pound for pound, I think Icy Gaming Team B probably would have a better chance of winning this than Omega, because I think Omega is going to put a lot of their effort into Icy Gaming Team B. So, Shikate, Team Ambition Hydro White versus Shikate. Card Gamer, you have Team Ambition Hydro White. We have Shikate. Explain why we're wrong.
Hydra just comes in clutch. Like, even when you kind of count them out, they just win. Like, they did this going into playoffs last time, and they're probably going to do it going into playoffs this time. Like, the Hydra players are just really good.
Yeah, makes sense. And then the last matchup, we have Beautiful Gamers versus Flannel. We all have Beautiful. All right.
Actually, I just want to point out that one player on Flannel has been bringing deep every single week. So since that's like off buff, it might be pretty good now.
True.
Yeah, it might actually be a viable lineup.
Yeah, deep buffs. More deep support. Very sick. Is there any slides that you want to go back to? Because what I'm gonna use this time is just some announcements. So if there's anything you want to talk about before I do that boring stuff, let me know.
No, I don't think there's anything I want to talk about in particular.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
All right, cool. So on that note, some announcements, right? This week we will be playing on the patch, so prepare for that, and then you will have basically 1 day prep. The submission time for AM will be moved back to noon of Thursday instead of midnight of Wednesday, so you will have a little bit extra time to play on the patch than normal. The other thing is rescheduling is getting changed. You guys should be aware of that like for the last week and throughout playoffs, because we need extra time for teams to prep and they need to know what their matchup is. Week 7 and playoffs will have different scheduling procedures. You can only schedule up to 2 days past the default time. So for AM, that'll be Saturday at midnight, and then for EMEA, that'll be Sunday at midnight BST. So prepare for that. And also the folder sheet, once all of the week 6 information is in, the folder sheet will be updated to include seeding probabilities. So your chances of getting first seed, second seed, third seed, etc., will be posted there. And yeah, I think that's it. And then we'll release a bracket with the playoffs for the first 3 seeds, kind of like seeded out, and then the 4th and 5th seed for AM, we will do a draw show for it, and for the 4th and 5th seed for EMEA, they will just play against the opposite group. Okay. Any questions on playoffs or anything like that from the chat or you guys?
When does the 4th and 5th players play?
They will play the next week.
So, okay,
So the
so just the
first 3 seeds will basically get
one
a
of the
bye.
top 3 takes a week break.
Yeah, they get a bye basically. So 4th and 5th seed will be a play-in match, and then what will happen is we'll do another draw show, and the draw show will determine pick order, and then the teams will come on, we'll send a captain and submit their picks, and then we'll tell them what their picks will be. So the way the draw show will work for the draft lottery for AM is that the first seeds, what we determine to be the first overall seed will have a 40% chance. What we determine to be the second overall seed and third overall seed and the fourth overall seed will get a 30, 20, and 10% chance of getting first pick. So it's going to be like an NBA draft lottery, as opposed to how we did it last time, where we just said this is the first overall seed, so they get to pick first. And then for EMEA, it'll just be straightforward. It'll just be Group 1 versus Group 2 in the first round. So, okay.
Yeah.
Sound good? Any other questions?
No.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming out and joining us. And I'm excited for this last week of the season. And yeah, playoffs is going to be a banger. So thank you again
Thanks for having us.
Yep, all of our guests, Card Gamer, Metal, Salty Simon, and of course, Extasio. So thank you guys and have a great day.